We were there on the day that will live in infamy.
George W. Bush entered the White House after one of the most controversial elections in American history. In 2000, America watched a bitter contest between Bush and Vice President Al Gore. The final fight came down to Florida. Ballots, recounts, courtrooms, and national uncertainty. After the Supreme Court stopped the recount, Bush won the Electoral College and became America's 43rd president. But when he took office on January 20th, 2001, no one knew that within 8 months, his presidency would be defined by the deadliest terrorist attack in American history. At first, Bush focused on tax cuts, education, the economy, and rebuilding trust after the disputed election. America looked powerful and secure, but intelligence agencies were already tracking al-Qaeda and bin Laden warnings without knowing the exact target, timing, or method. On September 11th, 2001, America began like a normal morning. Families went to work, planes took off, and Bush visited a Florida school. But at the same time, 19 al-Qaeda hijackers were already inside 4 commercial airplanes, waiting to strike. The attackers were al-Qaeda operatives, not random men. Led by Osama bin Laden's network, 4 teams boarded 4 planes, planning to use them as weapons. 2 hit New York, 1 struck Washington, and Flight 93 crashed after passengers fought back. At 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center. At first, many thought it was an accident. At 9:03 a.m., Flight 175 hit the South Tower. The second impact made it clear this was no accident. America was under attack. Bush was inside Emma E. Booker Elementary School in Florida, reading with children, when Andrew Card whispered that a second plane had hit. At 9:37 a.m., Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. The attack had reached America's military heart. Flight 93 was the 4th hijacked plane. After passengers learned about the attacks through phone calls, they realized their aircraft was part of the same plot. They fought back, and the plane crashed near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, preventing another strike on Washington. The fires and impact damage weakened the Twin Towers. The South Tower collapsed at 9:59 a.m. and the North Tower at 10:28 a.m. Lower Manhattan filled with dust, smoke, ash, and fear. Nearly 3,000 people were killed, including civilians and first responders. After leaving the school, Bush boarded Air Force One, but did not return to Washington immediately for security reasons. U.S. airspace was shut down, military jets were placed on alert, and Bush moved through secure locations before reaching the White House that evening. Within hours, investigators linked the attacks to al-Qaeda. The FBI began a massive investigation using passenger lists, airport records, phone calls, luggage, financial trails, and intelligence reports. All 19 hijackers were identified as connected to Osama bin Laden's network. That evening, Bush returned to Washington and spoke from the White House. He called the attacks evil and promised a U.S. response. His calm, serious speech told Americans the nation had been attacked, but not broken, turning him into a wartime leader. After the attacks, America changed overnight. Airports closed, families searched for missing loved ones, and people lined up to donate blood. The U.S. demanded that Afghanistan's Taliban regime hand over al-Qaeda leaders, including Osama bin Laden. When the Taliban refused, Bush prepared for war. After 9/11, Bush addressed Congress and the world, calling the response a global fight against terrorism. Many Americans and allies supported action against al-Qaeda and the Taliban, but later debates grew over war, security, civil liberties, intelligence failures, and America's role. September 11th changed George W. Bush's presidency forever. Before the attacks, he was known for a disputed election and domestic issues. Afterward, he became a wartime president, creating new security systems, expanding intelligence, entering Afghanistan and later Iraq.